Hi, everybody. This is candidly, the Remix Coach. Welcome to Sheen Magazine's Sheen Talk. You all are in for a treat today. If you're looking for a mellow fellow named Devoe, like Devoe, he is here with his lovely, talented, singing wife. And I was going to say black wife, but they might think I mean black, but I mean black with a Q. Right. They are here right now. So so anybody that knows me, I'm just going to get this right out. So me saying, if you're looking for a mellow fellow like Devoe, y'all already know I'm an NE for lifer. And yes, definitely. And I wore my dream necklace. Shout out to Simone I. Smith Jewelry, because this is actually a dream come true. So I'm going to get that right on out right now, because people are like, you had Ronnie Devoe there with his lovely wife and you didn't let him know. I was telling them a little bit earlier before we started recording, but I have been in the room with New Edition and Ronnie Devoe, even for their movie. I was in the room when they got their Hollywood Walk of Fame star. So I've been around them, but this is a bucket list dream come true for me. I will be 51 years old in June, and I just want to, yes,
you look great. 50 plus, I'm in that club. Let's go.
I know, but thank you so much. And I just want to encourage everyone to stay steadfast with your dreams, because dreams do come true, and God knows our desires of our hearts, and He's going to give it to us in His time. So this is my time to speak to this wonderful couple. For those that have been under a rock and you don't know who they are, this is, I'm going to start with ladies first. This is Shamari Devoe of the amazing group Blaque. And what she doesn't know is I watched you on Blueprint. You were a breath of fresh air. Not that you can't sing. Everybody knows you can sing, but your personality, your spirit, that peacemaker in you. You know what? I gained a different level of respect for you, because on Housewives, they showed what they wanted us to see, right? But you showed your true self, and I respect you for that so much. And honey, your hair, your clothes, I was just like, this girl is giving us what she's supposed to give.
I felt very more in my element during Encore, because
I can tell.
Singing, yeah.
I can tell. And that's BET presents the Encore, and of course Ronnie Devoe of the legendary group New Edition. We can talk about New Edition. We can talk about legendary group BBD. We can talk about RBRM. We can talk about all of that. Y'all know Ronnie Devoe, and if you don't know him, I don't know where you've been for the last 40 years nearly. But I'm an NE for lifer. Welcome, guys, to Sheen Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure. That's an amazing introduction. If you don't know, now you know for real, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. And I just told them off camera that they are starting to look alike. And what did you say, Ronnie?
I said about 17 years ago,
right.
For the first 3 years we were together, we didn't hear any of that.
Right.
But once we passed over year 4, all of a sudden we were sister and brother.
Yes.
Shamari was like, she didn't know if it was a little hater sauce.
Oh, it definitely was hate.
Right. Like, yo, you should, is that your sister? Like, no. I'm hoping, because I'm really trying to holler at you.
Right. That's the first thing they would ask. Is that your sister? As soon as they walk up.
Right.
This girl, whatever you used to call me.
Right. But y'all showed them 17 years. 17 years. Let's just pause on that for a moment. In this entertainment game, that's like 37 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people don't make it past 3 years.
Can we pause it?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here talking to Mr. Ronnie Devoe and his beautiful wife, Shamari Devoe. And we're talking about how long these beautiful people have been married. And it's close to 20 years, 17 years you all have been together.
Why
21 years together,
and
17
years married.
Almost 17, right? It's almost 17. Yeah.
So next year, March 10th will be our 17th anniversary.
16 years married, 21 years together.
Yes.
That's incredible. You know, I love to show this Black love, but then also in the entertainment industry where there's so much confusion and so much going on, and people staying together for 2.2 seconds and then they're on to the next. What makes you all different, and why have you managed to keep this fire burning for over 20 years?
Oh, I think we just married we married for love rather than what each other had. Like, both of us are in the entertainment industry. We both had our own thing going on, and, you know, we really loved each other. I was not like a New Edition fan. Like, I grew up listening to The Boys and ABC. So, I mean, I just loved him. Like, it was just genuine, and that love just, you know, sustains us that long, you know?
Yeah. And that commitment
that
we have to each other. For us, it started off as a real friendship. I mean, on the phone with each other, hours at a time at night. You know, when you're falling asleep on the phone, you wake up and you're on it for another hour and a half.
Right. You'd be like, I'm not sleepy. You sleepy? You know?
I heard you snoring, but that was the foundation.
Yeah.
Really have a relationship, that friendship, and finding love in it. Initially, for my wife was a little earlier than myself.
Yes, I knew I wanted him, boy. I had just turned 21. I just turned 21, and he was 33, and he treated me like nobody ever treated me before. He was such a gentleman. I was just so in love. Like, that's my guy. Opening doors and everything.
Wow. Just continue that commitment level. I said I only wanted to do this one time in my life, and I was going to fight through tooth and nail ultimately for my marriage. And it was a real fight at a time in our marriage, really, that brought us to the brink of divorce. But because of our commitment to each other, we were able to persevere through some of our greatest challenges.
Yeah, we overcame, a lot of things that, were designed to just tear marriages apart. We were able to last through all of those times because we have some amazing, God first, we start putting God first in our marriage, but we also have some amazing marriage counselors and coaches, Martez and Wadrina Layton, that really helped us. Our love is just much stronger than it was back then.
Yeah, and I think that's so important. And you're going to inspire a lot of couples, because people think the sight of an issue that you're like, I'm done, because that's the society that we're in. Like, if it's not working in your favor, or you don't feel like you're doing this or that, you're ready to end it. But what it sounds like to me, the commitment, and it also seems like you all are friends.
Yeah,
we are friends. But I mean, we got to the point where we even, what was outside of our relationship, I mean, separate from each other, in that area of our marriages failing us, right? And to a certain extent, we gave up on each other, but not to the point where it was so broken that we didn't look back in the rearview mirror and say to each other, no, what are we gonna do? Okay, get into other relationships and start the vicious cycle again, only to separate from the next person and so on and so on.
And never get the kids that we want, never be blessed with children, never have, the testimony and the ministry that we have now, Like, we would just gave it all up, we wouldn't have had our boys. We had tried to have kids for 15 years. And then it wasn't until we actually overcame the challenges, came back together and recommitted ourselves to one another and renewed our vows that God bless us with the children that we've been trying to have.
And even our mission and purpose as destiny partners was really birthed out of a lot of the pain that we went through, but because we stayed committed to each other, right, and sought that counseling and coaching and a firmer foundation for our relationship, we're in such a better place right now. It's not perfect, don't get us wrong. We still look at each other every now and then with the cock eye.
Shamari's face.
Right. But our
That's
relationship
real.
Definitely being maintained. Marriage maintenance, relationship maintenance is key.
You know what, Ronnie, you hit the nail on the head, because just like anything has to be maintained, you have to check in, you have to do the work. If you can't do it and God is working through you, then you have to get of coaches, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a coach, but a coach or a counselor or someone there that can see both sides, that can be that voice for Shamari when she needs it, or that voice for you, Ronnie, when you need it. It's so important to do that. And I'm so glad you all are talking about that, because sometimes you just can't fix your relationship by yourself. You just can't do it. Were you ever afraid to, because you hear people saying, well, I don't need therapy, I don't need counseling or coaching. Was that always just like a go-to, like, hey, let's get some help? Or did you have reservations?
No, that was it. As a Black man, we went to premarital counseling, right? Mm-hmm. And I was okay with that. All right, cool. We walked in this walk. Right. Get ready to our marriage. Okay, cool. Let me figure out what we can do better walking into it. And then all of a sudden we're married, and I don't need anybody to tell me, right? Like, you don't tell me how to run my life, even though I didn't have the blueprint for success. My mother and father got a divorce when my brothers and myself were like 1.5 years old. Even Shamari and Shamari's mom and dad got a divorce early on in her life as well. So we didn't have the blueprint for success. And Shamari was reaching out at a time in our relationship where she was going through a lot of pain, losing Lisa, not losing Lisa at the time, but losing Lisa.
I lost Lisa Left Eye Lopez in 2022. We met in 2020. I'm sorry, Lord Jesus. 2012.
Right.
No, 2002.
Right.
I've lost so many people. I'm forgetting the dates. But yeah, I started 2002.
We met in 2001.
And then Natina too.
And then
Natina 2012, 10 years later.
And she was pulling on me like, Ron, we need to seek counseling as a couple. And I even need to, some counseling myself.
Yeah.
And because it was such a turnoff, it was so taboo as a Black man to me, I wasn't even really able to internalize my wife's pain at the time. And that was the thing that really separated us to the point where, okay, we're outside of our relationship.
Yeah. That's real. And I'm so huge on healing the Black community. Like, that's my platform, to heal us, because not the fact that we were born into trauma. Let's deal with that. And then the neighborhoods that many of us come from. And then now you're dealing with life. You're dealing with maybe mommy, daddy issues. Then on top of that, then you're starting to deal with, like you said, Shamari, losing Left Eye and losing Natina. And then so everything is compounded. And with trauma, it'll just be like this. It'll just start stacking on each other. And then next thing you know, you're building a brick wall in between you two, and you don't even know how to pull those bricks down. So you know what I'm saying? So getting the help, and you touched on something, Ronnie, just as a Black man and Black people in general, I don't need that. I go to church. Well, God does provide that, but God helps those who help themselves as well. So you have to be invest in your own relationship, but most importantly, separately, so then you can come together and be who you want to be for one another.
That's right.
And then, no, go ahead, Ron.
No, we had to peel a lot of layers back in our relationship. Like you said, one of the things that Martez and Woodrina identified first was whether or not we were destiny partners. Are you supposed to be together before we unravel this mess?
Come on.
We figured that part out, right? Yeah. And then it was, who are your parents? Like, what family do you come from? Because
family of origin.
A lot of trauma and pain that our parents and our parents' parents have gone through that we're bringing into our relationship, right? And we were able to kind of identify some of those things and then hear each other out. Active listening was one of the best things for us. I had to repeat what Shamari was saying to me. And if I missed anything, she was able to say, okay, you missed A, B, and C, but you did a great job at E, D and F or what have you. And vice versa, she had to do that for me as well. So there were so many fundamental things that they taught us that, just kind of walked us back together as they were speaking life into our, and breathing life into our relationship again.
Yeah, that's deep. That's powerful. And you're going to inspire some couples out there, because everyone, and now what gets me is social media, and everybody, of course, wants to post the best of their relationship. So then you have these false relationship goals that people are trying to attain, and they can never attain because they're not showing you that they just had it out in the car, or they're not showing you how they overcame it. So, you know what I'm saying? They just want to show you the book.
Couples retreat.
Right.
Speaking of couples retreat.
But I want to first acknowledge, and then we're going to get into that, but I want to acknowledge those beautiful Devoes twins, like with their own Instagram page, their own fan base. They are adorable. They are a sweet mixture of you both. Like, I see both of you in those amazing kids. What have they done? I know Shamari talked about it earlier. Like, it was when you reconnected and found that sweet spot in your relationship and your marriage that those twins were here. What have they done for you all as a couple, a mom and a dad? And Ronnie, we were like, Ronnie, is he going to have some kids? Does he want kids? Like, what's going on?
Not the only one, but go ahead. That make you feel them walking into our life?
Man, I mean, as a mother, I have so much respect for other mothers because it's like a love that you've never felt before. Like, it's really hard when they're young because you're paying attention to them and you forget that you got a husband that needs your attention too. So but they are such a blessing in my life. I've never known a love like that. I've never experienced just having someone just depend on me for everything and me having to come outside of just only taking care of myself and my husband to taking care of two more, not just one, but two more, little beings. So it just changed our world for the better, and we're just in a different space as parents. I feel like we have to, but we do have to remember that we have to make sure that we continue to, date and make sure that we schedule even sex. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, serious. That's real.
So
Put that on the calendar,
but,
especially one of my love languages is physical touch. Holla at your boy.
Here's your touch.
But that's real. That's real because parents forget to be lovers and to be married. They're just so focused on being a parent and the best parent. But how you can be the best parent is being the best married people that your children can see.
Yes.
That's right. And I think that's the reason why they are the fulfillment of our commitment to each other, right? Like, God wanted to bless us, but our relationship wasn't as firm as it needed to be for us to have children at the time. We needed to get some stuff out of our way, right? So that we can be one with each other, so that we can raise young, impressionable minds, right? Like, if we would have had children and,
our family would have been broken.
Right. 10 years back or even 20 years back, the way we raise and the things that we speak into our kids now versus what it would have been in the past is so much better than it would have ever been. And God saw fit to make sure, okay, let me walk y'all through the fire first and see if you can really get down with me. And because we sat him in the center of it, and then we looked at each other and made sure we were tight, and then family and everybody else, man, our blessings were given to us.
See, because this guy be like, look at them trying to run it, trying to do it. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let them do what it do, because he already knew what was coming. But we always, as people, think we know and we can plan our steps better, but God already knew what was coming. And I'm so glad that you all caught that message. Like, let us get this mess situated. Let's figure out us. So when they bring these children in, they can see, because that's how we teach love, is showing it. Like, people always want to, let's teach love this way, by just seeing you guys every day, whether you're arguing, that's love because of the resolution. And people don't understand that's a part of love. They think the love is just a yes, that's part of it. But how do you recover from an argument, or when he or she pisses you off? That's what your children need to see. And I think it's beautiful, y'all. I really do.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We like to be so transparent. Like, we don't want you just to see, oh my God, like, I'm just having the best time ever with my husband and on Instagram. Yeah. But we also are transparent because we know that that's going to help other couples, like, understand. We go through things. we fight. It's all a part of growing together. You have to grow. No relationship is perfect. So, you know, even with the new reality show,
couples retreat.
Let's talk about that. Everybody, there on VH1's Couple Retreat, this new season coming up. A lot of faces that you know, but Shamari and Styles P and Anjanou, you guys are the veteran married couple. What was that experience like? Let's talk about that. Just being in that room.
We thought we were gonna show up
and be the therapist ourselves to the other couples.
Letting everybody else know, this
look,
is what you need, because Mike and Rada, you know, as friends, called me and asked me to be a part of the show, right? And knowing what they were going through. Yeah, knowing what they were going through as far as their challenges in an open relationship, and what we had gone through and our experience, we wanted to come on the show and kind of be their therapist, right? But then as we began to open and share with each other, right, as vulnerable couples, we felt some things in our relationship that were still sitting under our skin that needed to be addressed. Man, it got real fiery. We felt like it's almost like our relationship blew up bigger than some of the other couples on the retreat. But like you said, the resolution to a certain extent on the other side of that. Right. I'm sorry.
Can you learn from it? Can you grow from it? Like you're gonna go through something. That's right. But what is the resolution? What are you gonna do to make sure that you guys learn from that and don't put yourself in that situation anymore? So
But I love that, because I'm glad that you all shared that little bit with us. So we'll see. Everybody, you know, definitely watch. I will be watching for sure. But I love that, because people usually go on the shows and they say, well, that's terrible for your relationship. It's not going to work. But it seems like it made you all stronger, because this is not going anywhere. But I love the fact that you can show all of that. Did you have any reservations for putting it? Because you guys are transparent. And you talked about open relationships even on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But did you have reservations to do this? And what was the motivation behind even wanting to do that? Were you said Michael asked you, did you have reservations?
Yeah. You always think, you know, as public figures, right? I come from a school where you don't air your dirty laundry, really. Like all of that under the rug, sweep it under the rug and leave it right there, and everything is fluffy and perfect, right? But then we felt like that's not our mission and purpose in life, right? We have to show some of the ups and downs, and this roller coaster ride that is a relationship, and what is the foundation that you guys stand on that allows you to get over those obstacles. So we felt like, look, man, like we're open and ready for it. We feel like we're marriage ambassadors. That doesn't mean we're perfect in any way, but we're willing to say, hey, you know, we've gone through that too, but we got to the other side based on A, B, C, and D.
That's right. Well, I didn't have any reservations, because I felt like the way that they portrayed me on the Housewives and our relationship on the Housewives, they didn't get a chance to really show. My whole purpose for doing that show was to show that we can go through things like open relationships and overcome them and still be together and be even stronger. But they didn't want to show that. They cut a lot of the good married stuff out. And I felt like this couples retreat was a time for us to finally show the world, like this is solid. Like we you know, we honor our covenant that we made. We value the sanctity of marriage. Like we go through things, yes, but we're still here, and we're not leaving each other. We're destiny partners. So that's why I was like, okay, let's do couples retreat. But like Ron said, boy, they really went deep. They went deep.
And you don't know what, I mean, it's not our show, so it's not like we're sitting there in the editing.
But y'all should have a show, though. I'm just saying.
Right. So hopefully the balance that Shamari's talking about that wasn't delivered in Housewives will be delivered in couples retreat. You know, they'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly at times. But that's what our marriage is. It's good, bad, and ugly at some
That's
time.
Real. But Shamari, I agree with you on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I didn't like it. I had this conversation with my daughter too, because we were watching it together. I was like, and I didn't even like how they even portray you, Ronnie. I didn't even like that. And I saw that, and not to say I know you all personally, because this is the first time I'm meeting you, but but following and seeing certain things, I was like, it's something not right about that. You can tell things were missing. So I'm glad that you are on this show to show, like, we weren't saying we were perfect, but this is how we are. And like you said, destiny partners, you're going to have everybody saying, is that my destiny partner? Are you my destiny partner? Because when you said that earlier, Ronnie, that's deep for your coach to be able to see that, because a lot of people will try to work on something and try to fix it and make it, and y'all not even supposed to be together. God didn't do that. Y'all did that.
Right.
You know? So I know we're going to wrap up, but I want to talk about the 5th annual Marriage for Life walk. I mean, I remember when you all started that, and it seems like it's just taking its own legs and just growing, no pun intended, with the walk. But talk about that. Let people know about that and how they can be a part of that next year and throughout the rest of this year.
Yes, well, it's called the Married for Life Walk, the Married number 4 Life Walk. You can go to married4lifewalk.com for all the information, or you can follow on social media, the Married the number 4 Life Walk. But again, that's part of our purpose, right? That was birthed in our pain. The counseling sessions that we gone through with Martez and Woodrina, once we got to the other side of that and we began to see the sunshine, they would talk to us about some of their goals and their dreams and some of the things that they had as visions for their future. And when Martez mentioned the Married for Life walk and the mission and purpose and what his intent was, right, to bring like-minded couples together and share with one another and, you know, hold each other's hands and stay connected with each other on a walk a mile up and a mile back, right, to celebrate love, right? We walk for so many other things, right? Cancer and autism and mental health awareness, rightfully so, right? Let's shine a light on all of those things, but let's also shine a light on the positivity that is in relationships.
And
so,
family, keeping families together.
Right, so when he came with the idea, it was a no-brainer for us as entertainers, as people that have influence, resources or what have you. We just felt like we're going to do everything in our power to shine a light on this thing and allow it to grow and flourish as it has. And it started in 2017 with the first one. We just finished our 5th one this past weekend. Hundreds of amazing couples.
Hundreds of couples. That's deep in itself.
Yes, we had a couples cocktails. Couples conversation and love celebration. That was one of the most amazing things, because you sit in the room with people and you begin to ask the questions. When they come in, you know, they write questions down anonymously or what have you, but you begin to just have this conversation that gets heavy at times, but then it lightens up because there's perspective in the room that we can all draw on. And it was just amazing. And we're looking at moving this thing around the country. We've heard from so many different people that have come from different places like Boston and Dallas and St. Louis and Chicago and Los Angeles. I mean, they came from all across America. So we're looking at taking
to Atlanta.
Yes, to Atlanta. Yes. So we're looking at taking it to other cities as well moving forward.
Man, Married for Life. I want to make sure I say that correctly. Walk. I just even looking at the visuals, and when you guys started and you had I think you had the hats. I think I remember you had hats at one point. Like, just seeing those couples out there and seeing you all do this and being of service in this way. And knowing that, you might get drawn in by my name or anything, but this is bigger than me. It's bigger than what I do for a living. And I love that. You know, when someone knows your name, that's nice. And you do this, that's nice. But what are you adding? Like, what kind of service are you being? How are you utilizing your life to move people forward? And I think you are doing that for couples, especially Black couples. You also, before we end, I just want to talk about mental health. You guys are advocates for mental health. And, you know, that's something that's big in our community. Can we just talk just quickly about that before you guys leave?
Yes, I'll pass that to my wife if you want to talk about it. I just want to shout to a couple of our sponsors for the Married for Life walk, and Ford and Chase. Ford, they've been down with us almost since day one. We appreciate everything that they've done and their generosity. Chase, they just came aboard and the wealth part, the finance part is one of the main things that breaks couples apart, right? So for them to speak to that and budgeting and creating generational wealth was so important as an addition to what we're doing with the Married for Life Walk. So kudos to all of our sponsors that represented and helped us pull this thing off.
Yes.
But mental health.
And your part,
well, you should talk about how you are on the board member of the
Silence the Shame
with Shanti
Doss.
Doss.
Shanti Doss, yes, a great movement. Talk about because you and I just before you even do that, I want to talk about you in real estate for like 20 years. You are adding to that financial wealth. You know, you saw value in that, and I think that that's big. And a lot of people need to know that you are a business people. You're a businessman and woman. I think that's so important too, to add to that legacy for your children. Yes, we have Blaque, we have New Edition and all that we do over here, but let me show you this side. I think that that's big to show your children. But
as an advocate for just fair housing and all of the above, and initially coming from a family that didn't have any homeowners in it as far as the eye could see in my conversations, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all of the above, and being able to be blessed to purchase my mom and my family a house when I was 17, right? And continuing on in that tradition is something that everyone should be able to do. So anything that I can do to make sure that that is happening across America is something that I advocate for. So DevoesRealEstate.com is something that my wife and I supported. She supported me. She was actually my first client when I got my real estate.
Wow, yes.
2002. She said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get them. Yeah, you gonna be my first.
Yes.
Yeah, you gonna right.
Make sure you don't go nowhere.
That's right.
You know, I'm gonna you sell me my first house, and I was like, that's gonna make you love me even more.
You calling him to fix stuff. He like, I'm the realtor. You know, you done with me, but you like to fix you.
Yeah, so everyone should be able to do that. It's about wealth generation for Black families and families in general, but we are the least of them, right? When you look at our numbers, they're at the same point that they were when it was legal to discriminate against us, and that it cannot happen. So we have a lot of partners that are looking to make sure that that is not the case, and we can fix that gap that exists between Black homeowners and everyone else for that matter.
For sure. Y'all are making a difference. I don't want to skip over Shanti Doss, what she's doing with Silence the Shame. So we'll just, talk about that, and then I'll let you all go to be married folks and parents and all of that good stuff.
Now, well, that's Silence the Shame, being a board member of another organization that's doing so much in the last 5 or 6 years that they've been in existence by leaps and bounds. They have done so much for the community that is challenged with mental health issues on a number of different levels. So it's important, it's actually something that my wife, has challenges with, and she can share, a little bit about that. Initially, it was something that she was a little reserved about exposing, but it's good to know that she is, an activist on that side of the table as well,
Yeah.
What? Was I supposed to say that?
Yeah,
no, but
we kind of just put it out there. Yeah, so I have anxiety, and I deal with that. So it's just important. I know that everybody pretty much has anxiety, but my anxiety is like, I actually struggle with it. So, it's just, I think it's important that we have these different foundations like Silence the Shame, and it's important that we talk to our therapists, our psychiatrists. Don't be scared of that. Don't be scared to get on medication to get you through tough times. Like a lot of Black people like, that's the white folks' medicine. They make, but it's like you have to get help, because you can't get through it by yourself. You have to have a good support system, and just make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
First and foremost, that's important, especially when you have anxiety. Making sure that you eat healthy meals, making sure you get enough sleep, making sure that you meditate or do yoga, all of those things are really, really important to help calm you and to ground you. So I've learned a lot dealing with this. So it's been going good. Things are looking up.
Yes.
But I thank you so much for sharing that. And if anybody that knows me knows, I've done, I can't even tell you how many interviews and how much I talk about this. So you all, I found a new level of respect for you all, because everything that is near and dear to my heart, first of all, any interviews that come through with you all, definitely they're going to give those to me. But it's more than that, because I speak about healing. I speak about mental health. I speak about healthy relationship, everything that you all talked about. And I'm really choked up right now, because so many people don't have to speak about the things that you all are openly and candidly speaking about. But you do. Like, you don't have to. You can sit and be Ronnie Devoe. You can be Shamari Devoe. You can have your children. You can go on tour. And that's all we needed to know. You get what I'm saying? For some people. But it's so much bigger than that. And I commend and congratulate you all for using your celebrity and your platform. I'm really choked up right now to speak about things that are so important. And I saw when Ronnie said, Shamari suffers from that. I have people close to me that suffer from anxiety to the point where, they can't even, it's like, you can't even, and people don't understand, like you said, Shamari, you have anxiety, people have anxiety, but it's a difference. It's a whole different, right.
Anxiety disorder is definitely different.
And I saw your face when he said that. And I just want you to silence that shame. Because let me tell you, you have no idea who you're going to affect and touching by telling your story. And it's not always easy, because, the backlash, but it is worth it. And in God's image and eyes, it is worth it. So I'm going to tell you right now, don't have reservation. Stand and walk in that, because you're still the same Shamari. You're still beautiful. You're still talented. You're still a great wife and mother. None of that has to change. So I just wanted to say that to you.
Words of affirmation. You must know her love language. You've been reading about this thing.
Yes, it is words of affirmation. Thank you.
Seriously, you are welcome. This has been an ultimate joy for me to sit and speak to you guys. Hopefully I'm able to do it again. But this is Shamari Devoe and Ronnie Devoe right here on Sheen Talk, Sheen Magazine, Sheen Talk. Is there anything that you want to say before we end? And definitely give all your social media handles so people, if they're not following you and what you're doing, they can follow you.
Hey, holla at me at Big Ron Devoe, and the twins at Devoe Twins.
Yes, and I'm at Shamari Devoe on all social media platforms, and you can follow at Married 4 Life Walk on Instagram and Facebook, and I believe Twitter is at M4L Walk. Yes. So you got it.
Yes.
Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Sheen Talk. I am Kendella Nice, the Remix Coach, and you are watching once again Sheen Talk on Sheen Magazine. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Until next time, God bless. Peace.